Hello everyone, it's Elena and I'm back with another video, and today I'm showing you guys my quarantine nighttime routine, which starts around 5 p.m. at my desk. And at that time I usually work on my revision notes that I made throughout the day in GoodNotes, and I just work on, finishing them up, doing anything that I didn't get to during the live study with me session, which lasts until 4 p.m. So I usually spend like an hour and a half finishing up things. And yeah, this is what the notes then look like. For me, it's basically just about turning my lecture notes, my supervision notes, and my reading notes into something somewhat aesthetically pleasing so that I'm more motivated to then engage with it. And here you can see my jurisprudence notes, as I'm currently revising that subject, and specifically the philosopher Dworkin. So I just try to put everything that I have on him into these notes so that it's then easier to look at them later. And since I will have open book exams, I think these will be pretty useful for me. At least I hope so. And then I tidy up my desk, so I just put everything back where it belongs so that when I'm going back to studying the next day, I can easily find it. And so that my desk is tidy again so that I can do other things there, because I really hate having an untidy desk. And then it was time for me to change. So in quarantine, I do dress like I normally would so that I feel more like doing work. But when I'm done with work, I just get into my sweatpants. And then I usually set myself a 20-minute timer, and I use that time to go and answer as many Instagram DMs as I can. And I always do this on my bed so that it's a kind of a separate space, so that my desk doesn't start to feel like something where I go on my socials, but rather it's just for work. So yeah, that's why I kind of try to separate these two spaces as much as I can. And then it was time for me to go to dinner. So I went upstairs, and my mom has asked me to show you guys that there was not just pizza on the table, though the pizza was pretty good. But yeah, here's the salad. Hi Mom, I hope you can see this. See, I showed them their salad. And this is my mom. And then I went back downstairs into my room, and then it was time for me to just do some other things. But I don't usually do work after like 6 p.m. because I'm a morning person and not an evening person. So then I go to my Things Free to-do list. This is a great app. You can organize all of your lists there according to, topics, etc. And then you can put headers into your list. So here you can see my YouTube and blog to-do list, ideas list, things like that. I think this is a really, really useful app. I would highly recommend it. This is not sponsored in any way. I just really like them. And then I also go over my revision notes. So these are not notes in the sense of study notes, but rather notes in the sense of to-do notes. You can see it's quite comprehensive. It's like a lot of things that I need to do, but it's quite detailed. Things like, print out that and then take notes on it, etc., etc. But I think it's just great because you tick off whatever you've done. You feel a bit accomplished, which is great. So yeah. And it has this nice feature. It shows you how much of your list you've gotten done. And I think that's adorable because it just makes you feel like, you're making progress, which sometimes as a student, you just need that. And yeah, then I go over my emails because I usually get quite a few emails throughout the day. And I try not to waste too much time on them, but obviously you always have to go through your emails. So yeah. And then it is time for me to do whatever I found on my Things Free to-do list, which here was writing a blog post. And you can see I had written an amazing 2 words for that post so far. So yeah, we hadn't gotten very far with that yet. So hi there. I thought this would be a good time to just, pop in here and explain a little bit about my evening routine, because this is the part which changes every day. So I don't, write a blog post every day. I wish. I do not have the time to do that, unfortunately. So what I do is I just look at my Things Free lists. I just look at what needs to be done, and then that's what I do. But I also look at, what do I want to do? Because this is the evening, so I am a lot less productive. I'm somebody who doesn't really do work after 6 p.m. usually. Like that's like the time where I'm just like, okay, bye. I do not need to see this essay until tomorrow morning. So yeah, I'm just somebody who works a lot better in the morning, and I know that about myself, and so I just do everything in the morning whenever I can. So this is why this is a pretty chill activity, and I just do things that I do for my hobby, like writing my blog and writing about books that you can read in quarantine. So yeah, if you guys are interested in what this post turns out to be, I will link it in the info box below. But yeah, now it's time to write it. And here's me writing that blog post. So I usually take my time writing those posts, so I just write it whenever I have free time, like I did that evening. And yeah, I just write about whatever I want on my blog. So yeah, if you guys are interested in how that article turned out, I linked it for you guys in the info box below. And then I went back upstairs to make myself some tea. And yes, it does say Merry Christmas on that cup. And yes, I am aware that it's April, but whatever. So yeah, I just like drinking tea. For me, it's something that kind of has like a calming effect. I don't know, hot beverage kind of do have that effect for me. And then I had to do that balancing exercise of carrying it back downstairs into my room because I always put a little bit too much tea into it and then a little bit too much milk and it just gets a little too full. But we made it. And then it was time for me to read a little bit in my book that I'm currently reading, which is Stepsister by Jennifer Donnelly. So guys, it is 8:30 now, so it's time for me to get ready to go to bed. But I did read a little bit more in this book and I really like it. If you guys are interested in it, I'm gonna link it in the info box below. It's basically just, you know, the story of Cinderella's evil stepsister and how she then gets on in life after, you know, Cinderella gets the prince. And I really like these modern retellings of fairy tales because they talk about characters that you know from your childhood, but you could never empathize with them because you don't get any backstory to them. So they're just mean and nasty and evil. And yeah, they just, you know, make the ultimate villain because you don't understand anything about them. So that's why I really like books like that. Another book that I highly recommend that is a bit like this is called Heartless, and it's about the evil queen of Alice in Wonderland, and it's amazing. So yeah, in case you needed some quarantine book recommendations, here they are. I'm gonna link them in the info box below, both of them, if you guys are interested in them. And now let's get ready to go to bed. So let's take off my makeup and put my hair in a braid so that we can sleep. And here's me before taking off my makeup. So this is what I look like wearing makeup. And yeah, then it was time to take it off. So at first I used this face cleanser, which I just used to basically take off most of my makeup. And then I used a specific eye makeup remover. This one's really great, by the way. It is quite soft on your eyes, but still removes everything. And then I used some face water just to go over everything afterwards. And then some serum in the hopes of making my skin look decent. And yeah, here's me without makeup. And I've gotten some pretty rude comments in my last video where I showed myself without makeup. I just wanted to tell you, if you have any struggles with skin, that's fine. You're still beautiful. And here's me with brushed out hair, because that's what it looks like when you brush out your curls. I know, pretty terrible. That's why I would never wear this, you know, as a daily style. But I do need to brush them in the evening because otherwise you have a lot of knots. And then I just put them into a braid, which helps then form these curls, which I usually have on a daily. So yeah, I just sleep with these braids because they help me. When I have wet hair, I put it into 2 braids. And then I close my lamp because it just gives you kind of a nicer light in the room. And it makes you sleepier when there is less light in the room. And then I put on my noise cancelling headphones because I do sleep with these because I listen to sleep stories on Calm because I struggle to fall asleep. So this really helps me. So I just always go to their sleep story selection and they have a ton of sleep stories. So there's just a lot you can choose from. And I have a favorite, which I listen to quite a lot, which is them reading the GDPR to you, which is this data privacy legislation from the EU. It's kind of boring, but also kind of interesting, but also it just makes you really sleepy. So yeah, what a law student thing to do. And I would like to recommend to you guys another app, which is called Simple Habit. And I want to be completely real about the fact that I haven't used them a lot. I've honestly just tried them out because they have offered me a code for you guys for a free premium subscription. And I know a lot of people now being at home, etc., are extra stressed. So falling asleep can be an issue. And I don't have any affiliate links with Calm or anything, but Simple Habit does something quite similar. And it's not an affiliate link. This is not sponsored. It's just a gift for you guys. So I thought I'd share it with you. I did look into them. They have sleep stories, but they also have things that are more focused on the quality of your sleep. And then they also have background noises, etc. But I think the extra that they're adding is definitely this, you know, focusing on the quality of your sleep, giving you a quality sleep time. But they can also just help you fall asleep. So if you guys are interested, you can get it for free. I'm going to link it down below. But as I said, this is just, you know, a gift for you guys. So yeah. And then it's time for me to go to bed. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. And this was my nighttime routine, ending around 9 or 9:30 in the evening. Yes, I'm 20 years old and I go to bed at 9:30. I know, my life is really interesting.